right. Gus in Lanzarote gave $15. He says the Daily Agenda guy is urging followers to rejoin the BNP and take it back from grifters. Problem is, he is like unwashed and falls out with everyone. Yes, the BNP is a zombie party, but an impoverished movement. It has money. I'd rather that was in the hands of real nationalists. You still think this isn't possible? Look, the guy who runs Daily Agenda, I don't really have any time for him. All he does is badmouth everybody. You know, a few weeks ago, he was part of the Homeland Party. A few weeks later, he'd fallen out with them. He was starting his own party. He's badmouthed me. He's badmouthed others. He's constantly at the throats of other people, and he doesn't really know what he's talking about. There is no way to do that. To go into the BNP and to take it over, you would need to go in and spend, I think their constitution says you have to spend at least 2 years in the party before you can become a voting member, which gives you the right to vote on things like a leader. And I think you have to be a member of the party for over 5 years, might be longer, before you can run for leadership. And to run for leadership, you need to get an incredible amount of signatures of voting members. Now, there's a problem there, because at one point the British National Party sold life memberships, and they sold a lot of them, probably 1,000 or more. They brought in a huge amount of money with life memberships. Now, those life members are all voting members, but most of them aren't active anymore. Most of them have just walked away. They forgot the fact they're life members. They get email bulletins once a month, and they maybe have even unsubscribed to them or changed their email address. So the party is stacked in such a way that it can't actually be taken over. You'd spend 2 years, all of you, in the party, and at that point you can be expelled at any time because you don't have any protections until you are a voting member. Then one of you has to sit it out for 5 years, and at that point that one person could stand for leadership. But then you would need to get a certain percentage of all voting members. But there's so many voting members that are completely out of circulation, and you wouldn't even be able to reach, because they're life members that don't maintain any contact with the party. That the party can say, oh, well, you need 20% of voting members to sign up. Well, if you bring 100 people on board with you, okay, there might be 1,500 voting members. You've still got to get 300 signatures. Getting them would be difficult. It's a ridiculously long-term project that the people talking about it aren't going to see it through, unfortunately. I don't want to, don't want to upset anybody. I don't want to be like, look, it can't be done, but it can't be done in my humble opinion. To do something like that, you would need to have somebody inside the organization who was been there for over 5 years, and then you would need hundreds, if not thousands, of people to join up and be involved for 2 whole years, for 24 months, before you could even enact your plan. And if this guy believes that he's going to take it over, well, show us all, because it's not going to happen. What he'll do, he'll drop this little plan. He'll slag me off for saying what I've said. Everything I've said is true. He'll then tell some more lies about me, and that'll be the end of it. And he'll be on to the next thing. If people could take back that party, they would do. And there has actually been I believe it was a High Court challenge in London to try and overturn the current leadership and put it back into the hands of party members, because they were accused of doing things unlawfully, and the courts sided with those in control of the party. So the state isn't going to help you with this either. So that's it really.